Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. This is episode 4 of my Legend Plays series. Basically a series of videos I'm doing about how to navigate some tough matches, oftentimes easier matches, like in today's video, but how to navigate them by applying Pokemon Go PvP skills in order to navigate the tougher parts of those matches and pull out a win. In other words, to create a win condition. And so what I'm doing is reviewing a lot of the battles that either came from my Legend push last season, or that came afterwards in my leaderboard push. And occasionally I work in some battles that I've done from rank 20 this season in the interlude season. Okay, so episodes 1, 2, and 3, I hope you enjoyed those so far. Today's topic in episode 4 is actually about maybe one of the easier things to do in the game, which is to RPS your opponent. Now, what does RPS mean? Rock, paper, scissors. So, rock, paper, I just screwed that up, didn't I? Hope you guys like that. Rock, paper, scissors. Like the kids game, where rock beats scissors, paper beats rock, scissors beats paper. So the analogy works for basically discussing how types work in Pokemon Go. And so we're going to review some matches where basically I get the lead from the start. In terms of type advantage, I get that advantage from the start with the Umbreon lead, and basically all of the opponent leads today are going to be ghosts in this video. And to be honest, when you run Umbreon lead, you don't win every lead, and that's okay. I don't know of a single lead in the game where you win every lead. That's just not how the game works. But when you come across ghost leads, which can happen quite frequently in Open Great League, 1500 League, it's certainly beneficial to have Umbreon there in the lead. So with that said, let's just do a recap of this team. We've got Umbreon in the lead, we've got Defense Deoxys, or DD as I like to call it, and Shadow Nidoqueen. And so the opponents are likely going to swap during this, and that's where I'll have to decide who do I swap in, DD or Nidoqueen. And that's what the flexibility of this team allows. So shout out to the guy who made this team, Smash King 08. Thank you so much, sir. And with that said, I'm going to dive into the first battle. Alright, so you see me clicking in, and now we're going to see a bit of a wait. This is what it's like to have a queue time. So this first battle is actually going to play at 100% of its normal speed, and then the battles after this in the video are going to play at about 125% speed. So basically it's going to be a little faster than the way it was played, and it's going to allow us to cover more in today's video. We do still see I'm waiting on a queue time in this first match, and I back out of it and re-queue and Open Great League, and we have a battle. It looks like our opponent is Milcore. So again, we are going to see a ghost. In this case, it is Sableye, and I think they're thinking about what they want to do. When they see the Umbreon, they back out, they switch to Bastiodon, which is then pretty much hard punished by Defense Deoxys, and that's RPS at its core. And I think they said, all right, well, there's not going to be a DD left to farm down, so I'm out of here, and they quit. Okay, match 2. This time the ghost is Trevenant, and so they save swap to Drapion, and so I go into Nido because I know that even though it's resisting some poison, it is part poison, I can at least tank this first crunch, and it does get me very low, but Its fast move against Nidoqueen is poison, and it's not gonna poison me down. So basically, I can start to throw fangs, and to my surprise, they're actually shielding both of these fangs. And there we go. We get the second shield. I don't know why. I guess they're fighting hard for switch, and basically that's what I need to start doing too. So I'm going to shield that second crunch. We're going to get a third one coming here. I'm going to shield that one too, and I've lost track of their count, but I know I'm just going to throw immediately because the Trev, it's going to end up, I've kept switch. If this KOs, boom, it does, then I kept switch, meaning that I kept my right to be able to align my Pokemon with theirs. So they brought Trev back in, I brought Umbreon in, they switched to Walrein, I brought DD in. They don't want any part of it. They know that this is going to be an uphill battle, and they top left. So again, basic RPS match. But that was more complex than the first one because what I needed to do was fight for switch. I needed to keep alignment. If I kept my shields, that match was not going to go as well. DD with 2 shields just doesn't do very well against Trevenant, especially with the self debuff of the Psycho Boost. Alright, third match, we got another Trevenant. Popular lead. Okay, we see another DD Bastiodon interaction here in the swaps. And this player actually wants to play it out. So now, like in the first match, they top lefted, but in this match, we're going to see this played out. So I go straight Bolt because we don't want to debuff ourselves. They're going to get the, I believe, the Stone Edge off here, and it does do quite a bit to DD, as much defense as it has. And I don't mind shielding this because again, I don't really need an incredibly healthy DD for when they bring their Trev back in. I just need to be able to like maybe get 2 boosts off, and really I don't even have to do that. I could have Umbreon do it, but I will get my 2 boosts off, and they're probably just going to go for the Shadow Claw down at this point in order to get. There we go. I don't think they're out of move anyways. In order to get farm, so we see Walrein. Now this is tougher. This is tougher because my DD's out of here. And it would be a good candidate to put into Walrein. But Nidoqueen is not. If Walrein has an energy shield, even though Walrein here is Shadow, if that thing has an energy shields and an energy lead, sorry, not energy shield, shields and an energy lead, then Nidoqueen could potentially lose, which is not what I want to see. I do know that I can commit 1 shield there and still be in pretty decent shape, but at some point, I guess what I didn't like was that, okay, now I go Nidoqueen, because they should be empty after an EQ. What I didn't like is that the Trevenant did have an energy lead here, but what this swap allowed me to do was tempt them to come back in and give their Trevenant a roll here, where they get to Seed Bomb. Instead, they commit. Yeah, instead they commit to just sacking the Trev, and they try to beat up the Nidoqueen with their Walrein, and it just didn't work out. They end up going down without using that second shield. All right, so next match we've got the Frostlass lead, and then when I see the Vigoroth, I swap into Nidoqueen because I know it's going to have the greatest chance here of actually tearing through this Vigoroth. Now they could go for the Bulldoze here, so I am going to, I believe I'm going to shoot. Wow, I actually called it. Good call by me. The Jamie I am today, I might have shielded the Bulldoze there on the first, and then no shielded the second Body Slam. It looks like there it worked out with those calls. So I do expect Frost to come back in, but I'm going to do, a decent amount here with some poison. It is resisted. Wow, they actually shield. So they they thought I was going to go for, I guess, the Earth Power there. So they still value their Frostlass. I guess they think if they can get to 2 Avalanches, it can threaten Umbreon quite a bit. Okay, so I go in and I expect they're going to switch out. They do, and now we have Scrafty versus Defense Deoxys. And basically, I can no shield the first foul play here, and then I have to make a decision about whether or not I'm going to shield a potential pup or whether it's a foul play. So it is actually safer to shield even though it's a pup, but at least I'll get to throw my energy and keep countering down without self-debuffing. They let it go, and I still have residual energy, so I still get to boost. So again, I think they're going for the win condition where they get to just build up a ton and try to overwhelm Umbreon with avalanches here. But it actually might have been better to, yeah, I get to switch out, and it's either an apparent CMP or we're at it here by this point. Yeah, CMP. And I close the game. I think if they shield their Scrafty, it makes it more difficult, and they get some they get to keep some health on their Frost, and they get to get a little bit more damage on my Umbreon, but they didn't want to go that route. All right, so we see another Sableye, and we see another Bastiodon come in, and so again I'm going to go for DD because Nidoqueen has to build up moves to threaten Bastiodon, whereas DD doesn't have to build up. Its move that builds energy is the move that is countering down the Bastiodon here. So even though DD is not a fighter, it is using counter that is still super effective, even if it's non-stab, so to speak. And we just literally get to counter down before they get to their next move, and I get to get a Bolt off, potentially, depending on their Shadow Claws here, potentially get to a boost. We get to it. It's going to be some more damage there. Let's see what they do. Yep, they stay in. They don't try to catch or anything. They get the farm. There's half a Sableye left, and 4 shields still in play. They auto swap to Azumarill, and this is pretty RPS in this match. I get to shield this, but I also get to Fang, and I suspect they're probably just going to let it go. Yep. And they just want to threaten my second shield, basically, and that's okay. I'm just going to build farm. And they know they're loaded on their own energy, so can a full health Umbreon, so they go for a claw there. I don't know if they're trying to charge up more, but this is going to let moves come through and create the need for them to potentially shield. So it would have been best if they had a foul play, it would have been best to throw it there. Now they're pretty low, and it would probably take 2 returns there, but I could literally snarl down by that point in the match. 2 returns plus maybe a foul play or 2 is what they had to do. Alright, so last match we see a Jellicent. And this time I go straight into Nido when they swap to Talon, because DD can't really shred through Talonflame. Umbreon can't really either, and we need to save Umbreon to realign to their Jellicent. Whereas Nidoqueen can come in and jab and Fang and potentially still leave with a shield. Looks like this Talon is just healthy enough so that we don't. I think they focused on getting to that second move smart in order to minimize the amount of poison fangs I could sneak in. Poison jabs I could sneak in. Jelly comes back in, and I believe I went 2 shields down, and now I'm just going to go for the big damage here. And so there's half a Jellicent taking some big damage, and if it bubble beams me here, I think I just may barely live, and get the Fang off. Yep. Okay. I think they wanted to keep energy. So now it's really, okay, they go straight into Pidgeot. Go straight into Pidgeot. Definitely more useful here to go into DD right now in order to actually threaten the nuke moves like Thunderbolt here. Still, the Jellicent's pretty low, and even though I'm down 2 shields right now, I kept the alignment that I need and the ability to switch to keep alignment. So by going down 2 shields to have Nidoqueen remove Talon from the match, that's where we're seeing this match continue to swing in my favor even after that. They actually shielded the Psycho Boost as well. They threw their energy at DD there from the bird, and that allowed me to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get an energy lead on Umbreon. Even if they were to Brave Bird here, it's not going to KO. And yeah, so they go for the Feather Dance, but they're too low. My Umbreon's too healthy, and we're still going to be able to take this match. Plus, I've got DD to come in and counter if I had to. They see the writing on the wall, because if they end up Brave Birding, then my DD comes back in and counters, you know, a bird who's self-debuffed its own defense, and I still win. So in a lot of these matches, we saw that I was able to really, you know, win lead with Umbreon and also end the game with Umbreon super healthy and still alive, because of how they tried to navigate the matches. Of course, they automatically switched, which is incredibly smart to do, but the first match we saw the player didn't want to play it out. In the other matches, we saw some fighting for some switch, or fighting for shield advantage. Like in the Talon match, they got their shield advantage. Had they Brave Birded me right away at their first throw, that would have lowered their defense, and then I definitely would have been able to Fang and Jab down on a super duper debuff defense Talon before they get to a second move. So that I knew pretty much they're still going to do flame charges, but I didn't want to take the risk. So going down shields there to keep the rock, paper, scissors and alignment there is basically laying the foundation for winning these types of matches where you had the lead from the start. There are some more difficult matches where if you do go down 2 shields and they have something in the back that maybe core breaks 2/3 or your whole team, that can be more difficult. Or if they have like a Nidoqueen in the back and you're down 2 shields and their Nidoqueen is up 2 shields and they are able to jab and Fang, that can be a bit of a disaster as well. But in general, fighting for switch is still going to position you in a more dominant role in the match. And if you're using a flexible team, at least like the one that I'm using here, you'll have some fighting power against a lot of the sort of tougher match endings. And so yeah, that is rock, paper, scissors, and that is using shields and smart swaps in order to keep alignment and fight for switch. And anybody can lose a lead in the format of Open Great League. It's blind, so to speak. It's not like show 6, pick 3, like we see in other tournaments and formats like that. You don't know what the lead is going to be when you come in, and that's okay. It's part of the fun of the game. And then when you do win lead, there's no shame. There's no shame in that part of the game. But you just have to make smart decisions after that in order to, again, keep switch, so to speak, and keep alignment. That way you can really seal the deal, because if you don't, and they're able to reposition their Pokemon in their back line against your front line and your remaining one, they could potentially flip the match that way. So that's what you don't want to enable them to do. And yeah, that's rock, paper, scissors. There's no shame in the rock, paper, scissors in this game. Just play it out. Most RPS matches you're gonna win. Yep. Alright, so that's episode 4, and this is also sort of a testament to the benefits of running an Umbreon lead where there's a lot of ghost leads. Not gonna lie, there's a lot of ghost leads. There's also a lot of charmer leads, and in that case, Umbreon loses. So I'll end up doing some videos on that topic as well. If you want to see some more recent, you can look at the Rise to Occasions feature of Nidoqueen, where he featured my battles. This was a few weeks ago, at least at the date at which I'm publishing this episode 4 video. This was a few weeks ago, but it's the Nidoqueen cover that he's got on his video, and it's the basically leaderboard pushing sets that I had when I hit my highest elo. There's several matches there where Umbreon faces some fairy leads, and I had to make some decisions. So if you want to check that out for how those opponents tried to keep switch, but I ended up still flipping the match in certain ways, then definitely check those out. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed episode 4, and I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Peace out.